Do Canadians need more restrictions on free speech to curb online hate, or do censorship laws need to be loosened? Carney's called out by the Prime Minister of Israel after comments on Gaza, and a game-changer endorsement of Pierre Poilievre by a broad coalition of highly respected business leaders and CEO. There's a lot that voters need to know right now. In recent days, the Liberal Party leader, of course, Mark Carney, has unveiled a sweeping plan to take liberal censorship laws even further in attempts to crack down on what they deem as online hate speech. The goal, they say, is to protect Canadians, and their strategy includes new legislation to crack down on hate speech, terrorism content, and non-consensual intimate images, and also to strengthen the legal framework to go after Canadians through the Criminal Code and Human Rights Act. Critics say these measures may go too far. They could financially reward snitches who may be unjustly targeting Canadians that they disagree with politically. It can threaten freedom of speech and set a dangerous precedent for censorship. In contrast, the Conservative Party has vowed to repeal what they call censorship laws, including C-11 and 63, which were put forward by the Trudeau Liberals and limited what Canadians can see and can say on social media. Conservatives have promised to uphold free expression as enshrined in the Charter. They also plan to tie university funding to free speech standards, ensuring our post-secondary institutions remain environments of robust dialogue and where the competition of ideas can thrive. To spice this topic up even more, this past week, the Liberals were actually accused of spreading misinformation at a small C Conservative convention in Ottawa, Canada Strong and Free. The controversy is being called Buttongate by some. Liberal staffers were reportedly overheard by a reporter boasting that they had actually planted Stop the Steal buttons at the Conservative convention. This apparently was an attempt to brand the Conservatives as far right. Several other buttons were also found that appeared to be planted by the same group of Liberal staffers. Conservatives have condemned the act, calling it deceptive, divisive, and ironic. Now let's talk about Canada's relationship with Israel and the conflict in Gaza. Last week, tensions escalated after Mark Carney responded to a protester at a rally who accused Israel of genocide. And he responded by saying, "I'm aware. That's why we have an arms embargo." His comment drew a sharp rebuke from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who posted on social media that Mr. Carney needed to answer for his remarks and basically clarify whether or not Israel has a right to defend itself from Hamas. Carney later claimed that he misunderstood the protesters' words, but for many, the damage was already done. Meanwhile, Conservative MP Melissa Landsman is also calling for clarity. On Sunday afternoon, she posted, "Mark Carney needs to answer if he believes that Israel has a right to defend itself from the sadistic death cult Hamas." She went on to point out that on April the 12th, a Liberal candidate in Burlington North Milton, Adam Van Koeverden, was heard sharing with a group, "Your voices will be strong in Ottawa, strong to condemn the genocide and end the genocide in Gaza." And she went on to say Mark Carney is now on his third day of not taking media questions, with hate marches again witnessed in Canadian streets just yesterday during Passover. Nonetheless, Mark Carney cannot leave these accusations unaddressed. So it is heating up. Once again, in contrast, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has made his position clear that he is in full support of Israel's right to defend itself and in opposition to anti-Israel UN motions. He plans to defund UNRWA and would like to see tougher laws against anti-Semitism here in Canada. And he's also said that if he was elected prime minister, that he would move the Canadian embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. This is an internationally understood gesture of support for the nation of Israel in their historical claim to the land. So, should Canada denounce Israel's retaliation on Hamas as genocide, or should Canada stand with Israel in their efforts to defend themselves from Hamas? Lastly, this past weekend, Conservatives received a watershed endorsement for more than 30 top Canadian business leaders, including CEOs and former executives from Scotiabank, Fairfax Financial, Mattamy Homes, and more. The coalition purchased ad space in papers nationwide and overtly endorsed Pierre Poilievre over Mark Carney, a former Bank of Canada and Bank of England governor. Why? Well, these leaders say that productivity has fallen under the Liberals, GDP per capita is shrinking, and Canada needs lower taxes, fewer regulations, and resource development. Their message is that Pierre Poilievre has the plan, Carney has the pedigree, but not the policies. Economists say that this public endorsement may indeed shift momentum in the final weeks of the campaign. Time will tell. Should Canadians vote for someone with a resume in the banking sector who advised Justin Trudeau at various points over the last decade, or should they go with the fresh endorsement of marketplace executives nationwide today? You decide. It's a ballot issue. It's your nation. It's your vote. For Merit TV, this is what voters need to know. I'm Faytene.